Welcome to the Urban Debate. You're watching Magicbricks Now, India's first property channel. I'm Faye D'Souza. Let's take a look at the headlines at this hour. Maharashtra's real estate regulator could be rolled out in a month once Chief Minister Fadnavis okays the draft rules. So says Housing Minister Prakash Mehta. The state would be the first to pass the regulatory bill, which was put on hold till the centre cleared RERA. Big push for open spaces in Thane. 3 massive parks spread across 64 acres of land will be developed in Thane. These will be ready by 2017. Magicbricks Now brings you exclusive details. And Bangalore gets cracking on its smart plan. The civic body BBMP appoints a nodal officer and readies to formally launch its smart city initiative on Friday, the 3rd of June. But our focus tonight is the city of Mumbai, with rains now on the 1st of June just around the corner. The question we're asking, is Mumbai rain ready? Well, is it going to be another waterlogged monsoon for the citizens of Mumbai this year? That's the question we're asking. The Mumbai civic authorities have assured us that Mumbai will be ready for rains. Roads are being repaired. Authorities say they're burning the midnight oil to get Mumbai in shipshape and on time. But we must remember that the BMC's own deadline was the 30th of May. They have missed that deadline, given themselves an extension of a week. The question is, will the rains wait a week for the BMC to meet its deadline? Magicbricks Now did a reality check of what's going on the ground. Take a look.
We covered the entire eastern Mumbai stretch, and what we found out is that in close to 45 to 50 junctions, there were patches of work going on. Roads were being dug up.
Areas like Baikula, Shivri and Mumbai Central are completely dug up at this point of time. The repair work that is going on is still at a very nascent stage. And not just this, the drainage systems, which need to be in a proper condition before rain hits Mumbai, are in a very bad condition.
We found that in close to almost 10 to 20 places, especially in Dadar and Parel, a lot of pending works are left by the BMC. At Hindmata, as you can see clearly behind me, work is still on by the BMC.
We visited prominent places in Mumbai that have a history of getting inundated every monsoon. What we found was that several roads were still under repair. Predictably, residents we spoke with are worried that they will have to face another difficult monsoon. In fact, work began this April and Mumbai civic body has commissioned repairs for over 530 kilometers of roads across the city.
मानसून में बारिश के टाइम पे यहाँ पे बहुत तकलीफ होती है।
ये जो प्रशासन है वो इतना सीरियसली सिर्फ पैसा कमाने में लगा है। कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को जिस प्रकार से दबाव होना चाहिए, उसका मॉनिटरिंग होना चाहिए। ये कचरा जमा हो रहा है, जमा आप कचरा निकाल रहे हो, कचरा निकाल के आपने डंप कहाँ किया?
ऐसे भी अचानक अगर रात को बारिश आ जाती है तो पानी दुकानों के अंदर चला ही जाता है।
Going to school becomes difficult. Shopping, I mean, this is a complete shopping arena. The Shanti Doot and the Hindmata market. It's completely impossible, and the shopkeepers also suffer a big time.
नहीं, ब्रिज की वजह से पानी जब बहुत तकलीफ होता है और पानी डिवाइड होता नहीं, पर ज़्यादा जल्दी जाता नहीं। और क्या घर में तो कम से कम 3-4 फुट पानी आता है जैसे।
In fact, work began this April and Mumbai civic body, the BMC, has commissioned repairs for over 530 kilometers of roads across the city. However, BMC's corporators told Magicbricks Now that most of the work is complete.
Wherever the water gets storage, I think 7 to 8 roads with that storm water drainage I had done, and we clean all that before rainy seasons.
Deadline is set up by it's 25th May, and deadline is already passed, but still the work is not completed. But if you talk about Dadar, TT and Hindmata, where there is a lots of flooding, maybe this year it is predicted that monsoon will be much higher than the last year. So there will be flooding also, but still 2-3 pumps we have installed and we are trying to take out the water from it. So let's see how it works.
Civic officials too are confident that they will be rain ready by June 8th. In fact, they're promising Mumbai motorable roads.
Most of the works are getting completed. However, some surfacing work is going on at some places, but we would be closing it in next about 5 to 6 days. In any case, latest by 7th or 8th of June. But I can assure you that all the roads would be motorable during monsoon.
BMC is also going the tech way to help you weather the monsoon. The civic body has launched a mobile app, MCGM 24/7, where you can click and upload photos of problem areas, and this will be sent instantly to the concerned BMC engineer. The app is currently available on Google's Play Store. BMC will roll out a version for iPhone soon. Bureau Report, Magicbricks Now.
Well, Maximum City's maximum challenge every year is the monsoon. The city comes to a complete standstill, and here we are looking at a city of Mumbai where all of the roads are still being worked on the 1st of June. Every year, on the 1st of June is when we expect the rains. The roads are still being worked on, and I want to ask this simple question. Are we ready? If we're not ready, why aren't we ready yet? Why did we only start work in April? Why didn't we start work in December? Why didn't we start work in October last year? Why do we wait till the last minute every year? Who's going to take responsibility for the city of Mumbai as we come again into a monsoon where the cities will flood and we won't be ready? Hashtag Mumbai Rains. We are 530 kilometers of roads still under repair. Do you think that Mumbai will be rain ready? You can vote on Twitter. We'll give you the answers by the end of the show. You can reach us on Twitter right now at Magicbricks Now. Send in any sort of responses if you want to be part of this conversation. In the studio with me tonight, debating whether or not Mumbai is ready for the rains and why not, Charan Singh Sapra, spokesperson of the Congress Party. Aarti Sathe of the BJP, she's a spokesperson, joins us in the studio. Sudhir Jadhav, BMC Corporator from the MNS. Rishi Agarwal, environmentalist who's been studying Mumbai's problems. Krishnaraj is an activist who joins us in the studio. Nikhil Desai is a citizen who brings us the citizen's point of view right now. Aarti Sathe, Mumbai is not ready. 500 kilometers of road are still being worked on. Why aren't we ready for the monsoon? Did we not know it was going to rain in June? Because it rains that much in June every year. Why aren't we ready?
Well, I don't completely agree with your point that we are not ready. There may be certain pain points which we need to address, and I'm sure BMC, as the Additional Municipal Commissioner, Mr. Deshmukh, also reported that they will have motorable roads for this monsoon.
But
we've always been aware.
Was the 25th to the 30th of May.
Yeah,
so
maybe the deadline may have been.
The deadline
may have been 25th or the 30th of May. But like I said, there are certain pain points. There are certain issues which need to be addressed. In fact, we are this time so much more better prepared that, like you all reported, and I was going to bring this point across, that there is a mechanism this time on the website which actually tells you when the tides are expected. So the citizens can just log on and see when the tides are expected, which are the problem areas. There is an app which is being put into place. Look at the footage that we're
looking at right now on the screen, where we know that the roads are being worked on. We know that these roads are not going to be ready overnight. This is Dadar East. Dadar East is a perpetual problem. I drive through Dadar East every day. It's been like this for months. Elphinstone has been like this for months. Parel has been like this for months. Why haven't we finished the work on time? If it rains tomorrow, which it might, let's be honest. If it rains tomorrow, how will you finish the work after that? None of this work will be done if it begins to rain. Mumbai Central, that's the footage that we're looking at. And these are our reporters on Magicbricks Now who fanned out over the last 3 days and brought us this footage. If it rains tomorrow, what good will it be for you to tell me when the high tide is coming in? Because you are not ready.
No, Faye, like I said, there are certain pain points which the BMC is addressing. There might have been a delay primarily because, sometimes the contractors, maybe there are workers not available at the right time, or, there are certain issues which keep cropping up. But at the same time, to just say that we are not completely ready, I think is an incorrect statement. We are ready. There are steps being taken. There are innovative steps, in fact, being taken this time. And I'd just like to read out a couple of points. And because, I've made a couple of notes I have got this information from our Deputy Mayor, Mrs. Alka Kerkar, who represents our party and is in a responsible position in the BMC. So I have information and very, verifiable information to say at 292 spots, dewatering pumps have been already installed or either they have been commissioned all over Bombay. There are Navy teams which have been kept on standby for emergency situations. I mean, I don't think in the past this kind of innovative steps have been taken, but now there are 9 teams of Navy. There are disaster management teams, response teams, which will be 24/7 available. War rooms have been set up, which will be 24/7 available for citizens, for commuters, for everybody. In fact, our Chief Minister, Mr. Fadnavis, had a meeting with the top officials of the railways also on the basis of a report which the Indian Meteorological Department has published to say that this year the rains are going to be above normal. And I mean, we want good rains. We want good rains, but we don't want it above normal. We don't want above normal and paralyze the city.
Okay, I want to bring in the rest of the panelists, and before that, I want to play this one by.
We are getting into the readiness mode.
We'll get to those points. I want to, since you talked about pumping stations, we want to play this bite that our reporter spoke with the additional commissioner of the BMC. We looked at those pumping stations. We're going to just play that bite of how much rain can we handle now with this new form of readiness. My producers will get that ready, and I want our viewers to understand what kind of readiness we are at. Let's listen in.
The present system that we have is capable of tackling 50 millimeters of rain per hour. But at the same time, if we have a high tide and the rain intensity is more than 50 millimeters, at some places there might be certain issues involved. There is possibility of waterlogging, but as I've already said, we have pumps installed. In addition to the regular pumping stations, 5 of them, we have also installed about 280 pumps at several places in the city. And these pumps would be pumping water if it is locked and putting them into the drains.
All right, so he said 50 mm of rain is what those pumps can handle. Anything more than that and we'll have waterlogging. June 19th last year, 283 mm of rain, and this was not out of the ordinary. Schools closed, airports, trains were impacted, the river crossed its danger mark, exams had to be cancelled, 2 people died. June 8th, 2013, 516 mm of rain. Again, the same sort of impact across the city. This is the kind of rain we receive, and I'm not even talking about 2005, which was an extraordinary event when the city flooded, where we had 800 mm of rain. We had 700 mm of rain in the matter of 7 hours. I'm talking about normal rain. Rishi Agarwal, 50 mm of rain per hour is what our pumping stations can handle. We have 6 pumping stations across the city. Is that enough? Are we ready?
See, no doubt BMC has made good amount of progress on installing pumping stations over the years. But I mean, it would be anybody's guess whether we are ready, because the rains have a habit of, in a sense, surprising us almost every year.
You know, I refuse to believe that the rain surprises us it rains every year. It rains every year in June, and it rains incessantly every year in June in the city of Mumbai. How can we be surprised?
So in the sense, what I'm saying is that it tends to surprise BMC every year, not the city as much.
I think nowadays the rains are not the lovely monsoons which Bombay enjoyed. I think it is more like the rains have become a little...
I think post 2005, I think post 2005 we really cannot say that.
The point I'm making is I think the rains have also become unpredictable. Like
so that we've always known.
I think if you live in South Mumbai and you have that kind of sewage system and drainage system, then the monsoons are lovely for everybody who lives in Colaba.
But what happens to the rest of us who live in this? I live in the suburbs. I don't live in South Mumbai.
So the suburbs are a nightmare. They're a nightmare. Rishi.
So the point I want to make is that there is more to the flooding and making Mumbai ready than just the 50 mm of rains we are talking. And like I was mentioning, that there is a lot of flooding which happens even with 100 mm of rain. So there are huge amount of other factors which contribute to flooding, and some of them are bad road design. Waste management is something which is a perennial problem. I think we're still allowing a lot of plastic bags, etc., to be flushed into our drains and the nalas, etc. So these are the things which, so a chain is as strong as its weakest link. And if you're going to even have pumps, etc. involved, but you're not going to do all of these things.
In response to the war rooms, I mean, while I assume that these are measures being put together for extraordinary situations, I'm worried about normal rain. What happens with normal rain when the city comes to a standstill? And I want to bring in the citizen voice here. Nikhil Desai, you're a citizen of the city of Mumbai. I know you've taken this extremely personally, the problems we have with the monsoon because of how the flood of 2005 affected you. What sort of responses are you getting from the government right now when you're studying the process? What are the results of your work?
Yeah. Actually, BMC is fooling the people all the time. My commissioner, my mayor, my party chiefs, they all go to major nalas 1 week before the rain, point a finger and say, we are 95% ready for monsoon and all. They are all fooling us.
Why are they fooling us?
Fooling.
Why are they fooling us?
Because actually nothing has been done. Last year, a big scam was unearthed. Okay? The contractors didn't even remove the silt and throw and made some 10-20% gafla. No. They didn't remove at all and just made bills and presented to BMC and collected the money. If my officers cannot make out and keep on assuring the people that we are ready, and it was only after an inquiry was set, the scam came out, nothing was removed and only bills were made.
So it's also election
So
year.
this is too much of a scam.
So Rishi Agarwal, you believe that because it's election year, we might have a slightly better time on
I
it?
think, this year some amount of desilting is improved, I think, but clearly, I mean, not to be cynical or anything, but this is clearly election year and the parties in position want
Charan
to show
Singh
themselves.
Charan Singh Sapra, representative from Mulund. Are we ready in Mulund for the people of Mulund? What is the status?
No, I don't think so that we are ready in Mulund or we are ready in Mumbai. Because, as you earlier also said, the work of the roads is not complete. There are around 376 roads which BMC has taken for the monsoon work, but they have been able to complete only 120 or 122 by till this date. And if you consider junctions, there are around 123 junctions on which the BMC is working. But probably the work will get completed by 5th June only on 30 junctions. Now, it is a very monotonous sort of work. It goes on every year. Now, some person was talking about desilting also. Now, in the desilting, only the politicians of the ruling party, they have a desilting tourism, they have photo ops over there. And then there is a scam coming out of it. Now, the honorable lady of BJP, she said that they are installing 292 pumps to, de-water the situation. Now, she is saying 292 pumps, and the additional municipal commissioner said, additional municipal commissioner said 280 pumps. Now, there is a difference. Now, if last year's figures are seen, the two major pumping stations, Love Grove pumping station and the other one at Dadar, did not work at all when there was a heavy rainfall.
This time there is a third pumping station at Irla which has been installed, and all three pumping stations are being tested and they are working. Just for information of Mr. Sapra. The third one at Irla, we wanted to just if I can just interrupt, I'll allow you to speak. The third one has been installed at Irla.
I never interrupted when you were talking, madam.
Please go ahead.
I never interrupted you.
Please go ahead, Mr.
Please be
Sapra.
little tolerant.
I am very tolerant. Thank you very much.
Out of the 292 pumps which you said, and the additional municipal commissioner brought it to 280, last year 120 pumps did not function at all. So these are the practical problems for which the BMC should be ready. Apart from this, there are medical facilities. Now, if there is a heavy downpour and if there is a landslide somewhere, people might lose their homes. They need medical facilities. How are the BMC hospitals equipped? They need a food shelter also. They need probably shelter. They need food also. Is BMC
been apprised of the situation?
There are so many things. It is not only about the nalas. It is not only about the stormwater drains or the roads or the junctions.
I agree.
It is about medical facilities also, food shelters also.
The other problem is that in the past 10 years,
it is also about trimming and cutting of the trees which are weak.
Yeah.
As far as work going on till the last minute is concerned, I mean, even after 2005, 10 years have passed and still till the last minute we see roadworks are going on, till the last minute desilting. So I think that is a big systemic thing.
BMC started work in April. Why did you start
they don't want to learn from the earlier year experiences.
Even in the past few years, we've continuously discussed this point again and again.
19 years.
Yeah, that desilting can happen in a March, it can happen in a Feb.
Krishnaraj.
there are a couple of additional factors that have been creeping upon us, and it's all in the name of development and better city and all that. One is trees have been increasingly choked off, and the foot of the trees are cemented. There is no water allowed to the foot of the trees. So the trees are weakening and dying, and some of them are dying very suddenly.
And some of them might
their
fall.
root systems are not strongly holding on to
there
the
is,
earth.
there is no coordination between the horticulture department and the road department within the BMC at all.
Either that
the horticulture department, which should be guiding the road department, saying that how you should be treating trees,
Rishi,
there is absolutely no
it's
coordination.
either that or it's a conscious conspiracy to kill the trees in spite of the environmental activists.
So,
Aarti, Sathe,
when that happens,
several questions here, Aarti. Are we ready in terms, is the BMC ready in terms of medical situations, which Mr. Sapra brought up, the fact that if the city floods, if trees fall, if electricity cables fall on people, are we ready for that kind of situation? And the other question is, are we ready for normal rainfall? Aarti.
Right. So coming to the first point of the pumping stations at Lovegrove, and the other one is at the Britannia. Like I said, the third one has been installed at Irla. All three have been tested and they are at functional levels. There was another one which was to be installed at Gazdar Band near Santa Cruz, which unfortunately up till now they have not been able to do. So I think the immediate problems which may be faced even on a normal monsoon, I think BMC has definitely come up with certain solutions for the moment. As far as health hazards, 1 minute, give me 2 minutes, 1 minute, give me 2 minutes. As far as health hazards are concerned, like I said, the Navy and the Coast Guard also this time has been put on high alert. That's got nothing to do with health hazards, but what I'm trying to say is that all bodies, and including Navy and Coast Guard, have been alerted this time. Hospitals have been put on alert. Hospitals have been, asked to keep themselves completely equipped for any health
facilities system which is not in place.
Which you are talking.
Okay, so I just want to respond to this. I just want to respond to this. The fact that you said that the pumping station in Santa Cruz is not ready. June 24, 2015, this is last year, Santa Cruz station received 111 mm of rainfall in one day. We do not have a pumping station at Santa Cruz.
And hence we've increased the number of
tends
other
to be a
watering
nightmare
pumps.
for anybody who travels through the western side will tell you that Santa Cruz station desperately needs help. We are not ready. Shakti Salgaonkar is a citizen who lives in Dadar who's on the phone line right now. Shakti, go ahead.
Hi. I live in Dadar, very close to Khodadat Circle. Every year the roads are dug up to set up a new pipeline, to install new pumping stations. And despite this, every single year I miss around 4 to 5 days of work because the water is always a problem, and it is an ongoing problem which leads to health hazards, which leads to a lot of loss in terms of, the building property and the plants around my building. And every single year we're promised that this monsoon there will be no waterlogging. And this problem has just not been addressed, and it leads to a whole breakdown. And this is an arterial road of Bombay. So I just want to know, have they fixed this problem this year? Because every single year you're spending crores of rupees claiming to fix it.
We are a city of optimists.
Shakti has brought up a very, very good point.
Dadar TT is going to suffer a lot this year.
Dadar TT has been a mess for months, first of all.
Hydraulic engineering department has put a big pipe there and not reinstated the road. And the debris are lying there, and 2 potholes already there on the road.
The other
and
TT under the flyover has been under construction for months.
No reason why
Shakti on the phone line brought up a very, very interesting problem. Dadar is always the worst hit by dengue and other waterborne diseases in Mumbai because of the waterlogging that happens every year. Every year, Dadar tends to be the worst hit. These are statistics that I'm calling out from the BMC's own health department. More than 974 cases were reported last year in Dadar of mosquito-borne, waterborne diseases. Aarti, Sathe, specific question from a citizen. Dadar, what is the solution? What is the plan? Are we ready in Dadar?
The information which I have is, and Mr. Ajay Mehta, the commissioner, has gone on record to say that there are laying down of 1200 millimeter diameter drain at the Hindmata junction. So I think Dadar has been top priority as far as...
Hindmata is not Dadar.
Yeah, well, in and around, but also Dadar has been a top priority as far as the BMC work for making monsoon ready Bombay. Dadar has been top priority. Secondly, as far as the health hazards are concerned, the commissioner has also...
When you say Dadar is top priority, what is being done in Dadar? So you told us what's being done in Hindmata.
Dadar will be the worst this time. Dadar TT circle will be neither motorable nor walkable, and it is in a mess just now.
So there's no plan. Aarti, Sathe, there's no specific plan according to what you're telling us from the mayor, from the deputy mayor.
Like I said,
is there any message about Dadar East?
No, there is... Look, I can't give you area-wise details. In fact, there is, I think, a website also which will give area-wise details to citizens as to how much work has been, how much work has actually been undertaken. I don't have the details of that website, but I'm given to understand that such website is in place. Now, at this point of time, 1 minute, at this point of time, I may not be able to map every part of the city, but the broad contours of what the BMC has done and what are the innovative steps that it has taken this time will be applicable for most areas to make them as easy as possible for the citizens to commute during the monsoon season. As far as the health hazards are concerned, this time, in fact, the vigilance at the nalas has also increased. I'm given to understand that all the ward officers... Mr. Sapra, you told me not to interrupt. I didn't interrupt you. You're interrupting me. Mr. Sapra, you are interrupting me. You asked me not to interrupt. Please maintain the same equation as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, I'll ask you this question after this.
Please. I have to finish.
And then we'll let Mr. Sapra ask his question.
Also, the Nala vigilance this time has
you please finish. I'll bring you to another question.
You're not letting me speak. You're interrupting.
Okay, go on, Aarti. Aarti, go on.
So the Nala vigilance this time has increased substantially. In fact, our ward officers, all the officers are working even on Sundays to bring up to speed, even if there are some delays.
Aarti, had they started in October last year, they wouldn't have to work on Sunday. If they started on time,
what has happened? We can't trace back. We can't trace back to what has happened or what has not happened. I can tell you what is happening as of today.
The fact of the matter is there is a lack of governance here, and it is a steady, continuous lack of governance. It's business as usual, which happens every monsoon.
I think there is no
and monsoon is basically a time when municipal contractors make money.
Okay,
and corporators also make money.
If we have Shakti Salgaonkar who called us, the citizen who called us on the phone, Shakti, is Shakti still with us? Shakti, if you're still with us, are you satisfied with those answers as a citizen?
I'm not, because as a citizen, I'm enduring traffic jams every single day on pretext of work that is going on to make Mumbai monsoon ready. And every year, increasingly, this doesn't happen. So obviously, my patience is wearing thin. And I don't see any specific answers here. In fact, the BMC Corporator for our F North ward is focusing on concretizing 5 gardens, which is a patch of green land here, instead of focusing on making sure that there is no water logging. The pothole problem on the Dadar flyover is terrible, which causes, again, traffic jams. And it also leads to a lot of sound pollution for me as a resident. And these answers obviously are not good enough for me. Because every year I've been promised something and it hasn't happened for me.
Aarti, Sathe, a citizen saying the answers are not good enough.
The other TT flyover has been having potholes every rain.
The other TT flyover holds water. The other TT flyover every day after a weekend of rain completely falls apart.
Can we talk about suburbs? Okay. Because we've been talking about Hindmata, Dadar. That's not Mumbai.
Okay.
A lot of Mumbai lives in the suburbs. And in the suburbs, let me tell you, the station road, the approach road to every railway station, which is also the market road usually, is going to be chock-a-block. It doesn't take 50 mm of rain, it takes 5 mm of rain to paralyze it. It doesn't take 50 mm of rain, and you don't have water going into the gutters, they actually come out of the gutters. They blow the lid of the gutters and come out, so you're going to have open gutters, open manholes, you have some open drainage on the sides of the roads in Borivali where I live. And they are going to be hazards, and the muddy water just flows into shops and destroys goods. Of course, they know enough not to leave stuff lying around, but it still manages to destroy
If
goods
I may
and take
just
people by surprise.
If I may just
It
add
moves
to what
into residences.
No, what Krishnaraj is saying is that unfortunately in Mumbai our benchmarks are so low over the past 10 years that we continuously keep discussing this issue almost every year. We are not discussing things like people wading through slush again in the
And getting sick.
Yeah,
Tiny
getting
bit
sick.
of
I mean,
rain.
and
I
see,
mean, it's unacceptable.
the fact is that
Unacceptable.
only 5% I think of the population is traveling by cars in the city. Let's
But
remember
those
that
cars
people are
have
using
no roads to drive on, Rishi. I don't think there's any percentage of the population that's
what we are
not
talking
impacted by the
continuously
lack of
is only
governance in this city.
No, we are talking continuously is about cars, roads. What we're not
Slum
talking is
dwellers.
that 80% of the people are pedestrians. They're taking public transport. The facilities in station areas becomes absolutely a hazard. Women who are maybe in sandals or not shoes, etc., are facing the worst amount of brunt. So
Rishi,
and that was
slum
all
dwellers
happening.
will face absolute hell. Their houses are in water.
Absolutely.
Okay,
So
Charan
we
Singh
know what kind of
Sapra.
large
issues.
part of our population
I
is poverty.
promised
And that's why
Charan Singh
our
Sapra an
benchmarks
opportunity to
seem
ask
to
this
never
question.
move up. Our benchmarks never seem to move up at all.
Can I come in?
Yes, Charan Singh Sapra, go ahead.
See, another question which I would like to put over here, that why BMC is not paying attention towards the railway tracks. They are just giving some money to the railway people to clean the railway nalas, but that's not sufficient. Over a period of years, this city has now grown. Even the height of the tracks is to be raised. There are so many factors. Why BMC and railways, they are not working in coordination, and why this problem is not getting solved since so many years. Now, there we are falling short of even the medical health facilities which we are getting in the city. When something happens on a railway track, on a railway platform, the railway people and BMC probably they don't have any coordination. So this is the real problem, where 70-80% of people are traveling by public transport, by the railways. Nearly 60-70 lakh people are traveling daily by the railways. What is their pathetic situation? The BJP Shiv Sena, they have not learned since 19 years they are ruling the BMC. It is pathetic.
We never learn.
It is disgusting.
Aarti, Sathe.
Okay. Now, if everybody, First of all, let me tell you this, that Central Railway this time has identified vulnerable zones of stations, and I'll just read out a few stations which they have identified, wherein clearing of muck has taken place, where even the culverts which pass on the east-west direction, where our own party president, Mr. Shelar, an MLA, has gone and personally taken inspection of it and given instructions that these culverts need to be cleaned.
That's what I'm saying. They only
Mr.
go for the
Sapra,
photo
you are
op.
not following what you have asked
They
me
only
to
go for the
follow.
photo op.
You said that there's cleaning,
Right?
but
Right?
there's
And I'll tell you, one minute, I'll
tell me whether your party people have proposed the widening of the railway nalas.
But let me finish what I have to finish, and then you can
Has the
counter
BJP Shiv Sena proposed the widening of the railway nalas?
I don't know what Shiv Sena has proposed. I can tell you what we have done at this point of time. Like I said, the Central Railway has identified the stations. I'd just like to mention a few stations where the pumps have been installed. And like I said, our corporators have taken inspection of those culverts which are running in the east-west direction.
Tell me what you mean by when you say, I don't know what the Shiv Sena has, what the Shiv Sena has done. You guys are partners, the Shiv Sena and the BJP.
But I was going to make a statement on behalf of Shiv Sena.
No. At the end of the day, if there is a message coming,
How can you not say?
It has to be.
If there's a message coming to us from the deputy mayor that you have brought from the BMC.
How can she speak so irresponsibly?
I think
they
this
are the alliance partners since 19 years, not 1 or 2 years.
Responsibility for BJP and Sena.
She can't be so irresponsible on a national channel.
I'm not being irresponsible.
No,
I'm not shying away from the fact that we are partners and we work.
How can you say that? I can only answer the BJP part. There is no BJP part or Shiv Sena part in this. You are ruling together.
I'm not saying that.
So what you're saying is the message that you have brought to us today from the deputy mayor
to every concern, you are together.
BMC is not a message that
you all
comes
are
from
appointing the contractors together, so the accountability is together only.
That's not the tenor or the tone of what I intended to say, and I don't intend to say that. But what I'm trying to say is, on the specific question which Mr. Sapra raised, that what is the Central Railway, what are the railways and the BMC doing This is my answer, that the Central Railway has identified the spots. Our corporators have gone and inspected the culverts, and this is what the present situation is. I don't think by saying
you
that
said
taking
I
by
don't
saying
know
the
what the
political
Shiv
parties
Sena
will keep
has done.
fighting.
I tell you what I have, what our party has done.
Number of pumps they have installed.
Fee, I would like to come in
Actually,
after
when
this.
a day will come,
Fee, I would like to come in after this,
will say,
please.
I don't need any pump. My system itself is capable of taking away rainwater.
All right, I want to bring in one more voice. I want to bring in one more voice.
I want to add some new aspects.
Rishi Agarwal, one moment.
Fee, can I come in? Can I come in for a minute?
Charan Singh Sapra, 1 second. Sudhir Jadhav has
Can
just
I come
joined
in
us.
for a minute, Fee?
1 second. Sudhir Jadhav has joined us from the MNS. Jadhav जी, आप मेरी आवाज आप तक पहुंच रही तो आप बताइए. आप दादर के कॉर्पोरेटर हैं.
बोलिए.
बीजेपी सेना की जो अभी बीएमसी काम कर रही है मुंबई में.
प्रभाग समिति चेयरमैन हो.
हाँ, बारिश के लिए. क्या हम मुंबई बारिश के लिए तैयार है अभी?
एक्चुअली पहला मैं प्रभाग समिति चेयरमैन हूँ जी नॉर्थ वार्ड का. जब भी मैंने नाले की सब देखरेख ली, मैंने जब हमारे अधिकारी लोगों को लेके तभी देखा था मैंने. एक्चुअली 20 साल से सेना भाजपा सरकार जो गवर्नमेंट चला रही है, एक्चुअली नाला जो हम हमेशा अपन 200-250 करोड़ रुपए खर्चा कर रहे हैं, उसको कभी तो बंद होने वाला है कि नहीं, क्योंकि उसके ऊपर लॉन्ग टाइम कायम स्वरूपी जो चीज बननी चाहिए. उसका मतलब एक तो नाला के बाजू में एक ऑल चाहिए जहाँ से मट्टी लोग डालते हैं अंदर. आज मुंबई में जो भी कंस्ट्रक्शन बन रहा है उसकी मट्टी सीधा नाले में जा रही है. इसके ऊपर ध्यान देना भी महापालिका का कर्तव्य था. और इतने इनलीगल कंस्ट्रक्शन हुए वो उसके कारण कांग्रेस वाले हैं, शिवसेना वाले 17-20 साल से वो लोग सब है, कभी उन्होंने देखा नहीं नाला. आज मेरे पास माहिम का नया नगर करके एक स्लम है, उधर का नाला है ना मैडम, मैंने देखा है खुद जाके. उधर नाला अभी उसको बोल नहीं सकते, उसको तो अपन बोलेंगे 4-5 इंच का खाली एक छोटा सा कैनल रह गया है, और उसके अंदर आदमी जाके नाला साफ भी नहीं करते. और पूरा माहिम से स्टेशन से जो माल अपना पानी आता है रेलवे का, वो उधर से अपना मिठी नदी को जा रहा है. अभी उधर साफ कैसा करेंगे बीएमसी? तो इन लोग ने कभी इंक्रोचमेंट या जो भी झोपड़पट्टी बन रही है, इनलीगल बन रही है, उनको कभी ध्यान नहीं दिया. उसके वजह से मुंबई को पब्लिक को तकलीफ हो रही है. लेकिन एक बात मैं आपको कर सकता हूँ कि ये टाइम जब भी मैं प्रभाग समिति चेयरमैन हूँ, और ये टाइम सब रास्ते के खड्डे भी बुझाने का काम पहला सेंटर एजेंसी करती थी, ये टाइम वार्ड लेवल को दिया है. जो मेरे प्रभाग में काम होना चाहिए उसमें ट्री की कटिंग होती है बारिश के पहला, नाले साफ होने चाहिए, तुम्हारे स्ट्रॉन्ग वाटर रेन. अभी रिलायंस को महापालिका ने पूरे 4G डालने के लिए इतना बड़ा काम दिया पूरा मुंबई का. उसके ऊपर जो उन्होंने कॉन्ट्रैक्टर नेमे थे जो उसको स्ट्रेंज भरने के लिए, वो सब ब्लैक लिस्टेड है. अभी वो लोग काम ही नहीं कर रहे. अभी जो खोदाई की है वो लोग को, वो अभी वार्ड के पास आदमी नहीं है, और जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर उन्होंने अपॉइंट किए थे वो सब ब्लैक लिस्टेड है. अभी ये बारिश में काम कौन करने वाला है?
जादव जी, आपका कहना है कि बीएमसी में करप्शन है?
देखो करप्शन ये बात तो नहीं, करप्शन नहीं. देखो जो काम होना चाहिए, अभी जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर नाले सफाई में रास्ते में ब्लैक लिस्टेड हुआ है उनको ही स्ट्रेंज भरने का काम मिला है. अभी वो लोग काम नहीं करते क्योंकि वो लोग ब्लैक लिस्टेड है. तो इनका काम करने का तरीका, इनका टेंडर का जो नॉर्म्स है, ये सब गलत है. अभी आप बोलो नाले के 2 साल पहले जब भी लोग उनको अपने निकाल दिया था, ब्लैक लिस्ट किया था, वो लोग वापस टेंडर कैसे
इसको भी कंट्रीब्यूट करना चाहिए बीएमसी की बेटर गवर्नेंस के लिए. वेदर कांग्रेस है, एनसीपी है, मनसे, सब जो ऑपोजिशन पार्टियां हैं उनको भी बीएमसी के गवर्नेंस को इंप्रूव करने में कंट्रीब्यूट करना चाहिए. तो बट वो एक डिफरेंट मैटर है डिस्कशन का.
सुधीर जी, आप कह रहे हैं कि ये साल काम नहीं हुआ है. 100 बात की एक बात, ये साल काम नहीं हो रहा है.
उनके जी नॉर्थ में हुआ है बिकॉज ही इज द प्रभाग समिति चेयरमैन, सो जी नॉर्थ इज रेडी.
नहीं, मुंबई के बारे में बोलिए.
नहीं सर, मेरी बात सुनो. नहीं, मेरी बात सुनो ना, मेरी बात सुनो. नहीं, मैं अभी आपको बोल रहा हूँ, मेरी बात सुनो. मेरे वार्ड में हमारे सभी अधिकारी लोगों ने जो छोटे नाले बड़े नाले अच्छी तरह से साफ किए, क्योंकि हम लोग ने मैं खुद 2-3 बार उद्यान दिया. अभी मेरे इधर जो धारावी से जो पानी जा रहा है,
ठीक है. आरती साथे respond to the fact that the contractors who are being given contracts to clean up the city are corrupt, that blacklisted contractors are being given contracts by the BMC, that the entire system has failed to govern this particular problem of being rain ready.
Yes.
आरती साठे
सेम चीज मैडम
सुधीर
सेम
जाधव जी,
चीज है
एक
ना?
मिनट आरती
मैडम,
साठे
same
जवाब
चीज।
दे रहे हैं।
अभी जो नाले में
उनको बोलने
ब्लैक
दीजिए।
लिस्टेड हुए उनको रोड का काम दिया था।
हाँ, उनको बोलने दीजिए आरती साठे।
ठीक है
Well, I'm not aware where these contractors who have been blacklisted and been given the same contract again. But if that situation is there, then I think necessary steps will have to be taken and new contracts or new contractors will have to be put in place. But like I said, I'm not aware where these blacklisted contractors have been given the same contract. So I'm really not in a position to comment on corruption, etc. I think these are very personal allegations without any proper investigation or without actually knowing all the facts. I'm not in a position to really give any kind of answer on this.
If I may raise this point,
we can give you that information.
Can I come in for a minute?
You know, and I cannot give you any legitimate or any kind of answer for something which I'm not aware.
No offense meant to
Mulund Goregaon Link Road, all of the bidders
Can I come in for a minute?
were blacklisted bidders. Charan Singh Sapra, go ahead.
I'm sure the bidding process has happened in a transparent and fair manner.
Yeah, of course, this is a very
but if there is something, there is an irregularity.
Let's hear Charan Singh Sapra. Yeah.
The contractors are definitely corrupt. The contractors doing these works are definitely corrupt. They are in fact habitual offenders, I should put it that way. And the contractors which are doing the desilting work, they have been caught also, action has been taken also, but still they are getting the contracts of roads.
Because
or
the
they are getting
corporators are also
contracts of the buildings of
Absolutely.
the BMC.
And I think the
Like
opposition should play its role as well, Mr.
A
Sapra.
contractor is blacklisted in one
Mr. Sapra, you know,
they are getting jobs. They are getting jobs on the other side also.
In maintaining the integrity of BMC.
Sudhir Jadhav from the MNS and Raj,
at the end of
Charan
the
Singh
day,
Sapra from the Congress, what are you
the
doing?
opposition is playing its role. That is why the action was being taken.
Absolutely.
Charan Singh Sapra, what is the opposition doing about
The opposition
it?
is playing its role. The opposition is That's what I'm saying. The opposition is playing its role. The opposition is pointing it out. That is why the inquiries are being launched. That is why the FIR is being launched. And this desilting contract, the entire...
For 20 years, if you can't straighten
No.
as a opposition,
For 20
then
years,
you are not playing your role, Mr. Sapra.
For 20 years...
20 years एक आदमी गलती कर रहा है, आप उसको सुधार नहीं पा रहे हैं, तो आप क्या काम कर रहे हैं?
Are just going in a... नहीं, ये इस तरह से चल रही है, ऑपोजिशन की सुनते कहाँ हैं? ये भी आपको बताओ. Let me take you to another grave situation now. Let me take you to a grave situation now. There are 128 major and minor nalas which are in the railway land, which are crossing through the railway tracks. Now in last 20 years or 19 years, BMC has been able to widen only 11 or 12 nalas. What about the other one? The city has grown, but the nalas or the drains which are going underneath the railway tracks, the BMC is not interested in cleaning them. The BMC is not interested in widening them.
Okay, since we're bringing that up, Rishi, since we're bringing that up,
somebody has to be held accountable for that.
All right. There was a project that was started after the 2005 flood called Brimstone. It was meant to clean up and to widen and to make
Brimstone,
to make the stormwater drains, the stormwater drainage in the city, give it the ability to handle the rains, because we were using at that point at 2005 during that flood, we were using stormwater drains that were built 100 years ago by the British,
around
which we had not
1,500
upgraded.
crores were given by the UPA
I'll tell you how much money
government.
was spent on that project. Up 3,884 crore rupees was spent on that project. That project is still not complete. 11 years in.
And
that project is not complete.
In the environmental community, I think we've been taking a big objection to Brimstone because a lot of Brimstone money has been, in a sense, wasted in just concrete lining number of our creeks and nalas, which could have been used actually to widen some of the cross drains which Mr. Sapra is pointing out. Besides, the 2 points associated with it is that in Brimstone we've paid absolutely no attention to ecological services provided by our wetlands. Mangroves, rivers, lakes, wetlands. We just don't appreciate wetland. And just to top it up, in the development plan, we are hell-bent on removing all the areas under NDZs. Some of these NDZs have enormous flood capabilities, flood resilience capabilities for the city. So the ecosystem services
Even the
provided
salt
by our
pans,
wetlands
Mr. Rishi
is something that you are completely missing out in making Mumbai Rain.
Let's take this question back to Aarti.
Also.
Aarti, the BMC is the richest municipal corporation in the country. 36,000 crore rupees thereabouts is the budget of the BMC. 50,000 crore rupees in deposits.
Fixed deposits.
In fixed deposits. This is higher than a lot of the budgets that entire state governments have. So it's not a question of not having enough money. It's not a question of not having enough expertise. It's a question of not having intention at this point.
And no vision.
No intention to fix these problems. Whether we're talking about the issues of drainage in slums,
no vision, no intention,
whether we're talking
no
about the issues of the problems being faced by our railways or the problems being faced by the roads, what's holding us back?
Every year it's
what
business
other
as
than
usual.
intention is holding us back? Aarti.
BMC's ability to solve this problem is doubtful now.
Okay. If completely incorrect to say that there is no intention. I read out a host of new measures which the BMC is taking this year to bring the rain readiness of the city. That in no way takes away the fact that there is no intention of either party or anybody for that matter who's governing the BMC to make Bombay one of the most habitable or one of the most forward-looking cities. Yes, we have our problems, and like I pointed out, we have our pain points. There may be certain issues which need to be dealt at the contractor level or the corruption charges, which I'm not really aware of, and I don't wish to comment on that. But to say that we don't have an intention, I think is a completely incorrect statement.
Aarti, there is no big plan.
No, there is no big plan. I pointed out, I gave you a point-wise steps which have been taken.
As well
Our elected representatives are working.
All right. One at a time. Gentlemen,
the elected representatives refuse to come on television.
No, hang on. Rishi Agarwal, hang on. One at a time, because our audience will not understand what you're saying. Mr. Sapra, 1 minute. Mr. Sapra, 1 minute. I want Nikhil Desai to speak. Mr. Sapra, 1 minute.
Number of areas which will get flooded as per the official list of BMC this year is more than the last year. What Aarti madam is telling that we have done this and we have done that. How can BMC itself is telling that now 170 or more area will get flooded? Last year it was 150 or something odd.
No, but at the same time, if new areas have been identified, new steps have been also taken.
No.
Of course, new steps have been taken. Of course, I have listed out the new steps which have been
This
taken.
is
We have the NDRF, which is
people.
National Disaster Forum, which is also in complete readiness.
1 month
Sudhir
down
Jadhav.
from today.
No, but just compare the new steps with the growing population of Mumbai.
Krishnaraj, 1 second. Sudhir Jadhav
Compare your
ji.
new ideas with the growing population of Mumbai.
1 second. Charan Singh Sapra. Sudhir Jadhav ji, आरती साठे का कहना है कि मुंबई अभी रेडी है कि बीएमसी अपना काम कर रहे हैं कि बीएमसी ने काफी ऐसे स्टेप्स लिया है इस बार मुंबई को बारिश से बचाने के लिए. क्या वाकई हम रेडी हैं?
नहीं, बराबर है. आरती मैडम का कहना सही है. ऐसा नहीं बोल सकता कि किसने किया है, क्योंकि देखो हर एक चीज, हर एक लोगों का, हर एक कॉर्पोरेटर का भी काम है अपना वार्ड देखने के लिए. अभी मैं जी नॉर्थ का चेयरमैन हूं, तो मैंने और मेरे डब्ल्यूओ सहायक आयुक्त जो ना बैठ के हम लोग ने, हमारे पास 7 ऐसे फरिंग के जगह है जहां पे हमने आइडेंटिफाई किए. उधर हमने 125 HP की मशीन भी लगाई है और हमारे पास रात को कंट्रोल रूम हमने बनाया वार्ड में. उधर हमारे 8 से 10 आदमी लोग उधर 24 आवर्स उधर रहेंगे. उसके बाद जो फरिंग होने की चांसेस है जहां पे, वहां पे पहले क्या होता था, जब भी हमको कॉल आता था उसके बाद हम आदमी लोग को भेजते थे. अभी हमें समझो बारिश होने का चांसेस मालूम पड़ गया कि आज ये टाइम पे बारिश होने के चांसेस है, हेवी रेन होने वाले हैं, तो हम लोग ऐसे आदमी लोग को वही टाइम हर एक स्पॉट पे रखने वाले हैं.
हर एक वार्ड में
आदमी को तुरंत राहत मिलेगी.
हर एक वार्ड में ये सब सिस्टम है, कोई राहत मिलती नहीं आदमी लोगों को.
नहीं,
एब्सोल्युटली रॉन्ग.
नहीं, ऐसा ये मैंने अभी बताया आपको. पहला क्या कहा, सुनो मेरी बात तो सुनो, मेरी बात तो सुनो. पहला
कमाते हैं हाँ या ना ये बोलिए.
मेरी बात तो सुनो पहले.
डीसिल्टिंग और पॉटहोल रिपेयर,
मेरा यही कहना है कि पहला क्या होता था,
कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स करप्ट तब हैं जब कॉर्पोरेटर्स करप्ट हैं और कॉर्पोरेटर्स उन्हें करप्ट बनाते हैं.
सुधीर जाधव जी,
वो कॉर्पोरेटर्स वो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स कमा के आप लोगों को देते हैं.
सुनो,
उसमें सभी पार्टी के लोग मौजूद हैं, कांग्रेस के भी मौजूद हैं, बीजेपी के भी मौजूद हैं,
सुनो, आप कितने
और एमएनएस के भी मौजूद हैं।
नहीं, मेरी बात तो सुनो, आप किसी को देखो, आप किसी पे मेरी बात सुनो ना पहला, मेरे को तो बोलने दो, आप इतना तो देखो कॉमन सेंस, किसी को बात तो करने दो, मेरी पूरी बात तो करने दो, मेरी बात तो करने दो, मेरी बात तो सुनो पहली मैडम, मेरी बात तो पूरी करने दो मुझे, मेरी बात तो सुनो। ये जो बोल रहे हैं कि सब करप्ट है, अरे घर में बैठ के करप्ट बोलने से कुछ नहीं होता है। हमने क्या किया आपको मालूम है, अभी जो ट्री कटिंग था उसका टेंडर पहला निकल के ट्री कटिंग भी हो गई है, नाला साफ हुआ है, बारिश समझो रेल की वाताहत हो गई, तो हम लोग ने आजू बाजू के सब स्कूल लिए, होटल वाले को हमने बोल के रखा है 1000-2000 लोग को खाना देने की तैयारी पूरी महापालिका ने करके ली। ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि खाली बोलना ठीक है कि करप्ट है, तो एक बात सुनो ना, जितने लोग चर्चा, मेरी एक बात सुनो,
निखिल देसाई,
जितने लोग चर्चा कर रहे हैं ना, उनको इतना बोलो, मुंबई की कैपेसिटी लोगों की खत्म हो गई है, अभी कितने लोग मुंबई में लेने वाले और ये भी सोचना जरूरी है ना।
सुधीर जाधव जी, आप बीएमसी
ये भी सब सोचना जरूरी है। सप्रा साहब इतने साल से एमएलए करके, सुनो मेरी बात, सप्रा साहब इतने साल से एमएलए, उनको खाली ये सोचना चाहिए मुंबई की कैपेसिटी खत्म हुई है अभी लोगों की, तो उसके ऊपर भी ध्यान देना जरूरी है ना।
अच्छा, एक मिनट, आप तीनों से मेरा एक ही सवाल है, आरती, साठे, चरण
सिंह ध्यान देना जरूरी है ना गवर्नमेंट का।
सुधीर जाधव जी, इन 15 डेज 15 दिन के बाद जब मुंबई में बारिश होगी, आपके सारे तीनों के सारे सिस्टम्स हम फिर से चेक करेंगे बारिश की वजह से। सुधीर जाधव जी, क्या आप वापस आके बताएंगे हमें कि आपके काम की वजह से आपकी जो जी वार्ड है बारिश से बच गई कि नहीं, कि टेस्ट कर सकते हैं हम लोग?
मेरा जो वार्ड है जी नॉर्थ, उसके बारे में हम लोग सभी हमारे ऑफिसर, सभी हमारे कामगार, हम लोग अलर्ट है। खाली एक ही रिक्वेस्ट है आरती मैडम को, मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं।
यस, we seem to have lost that connection. We'll get them back. I have the same question for you, Aarti.
Yes.
I have the same question for you, which is in 15 days it will rain for sure in this city, like it always does every year. Will we be able to come back onto the show and give us an update, take stock of how much the readiness that you're talking about has actually played out, and whether or not the city really managed the rains in 15 days?
Surely, I think with all these new steps, we will be able to manage the rains much more effectively this year. And in the event, in the unfortunate circumstance that if one of the systems fails, I think that will be a good feedback for us to improve our systems further. But I think this year, the readiness is far much higher than the earlier years. And we have taken cognizance of citizen complaints, citizen woes, and we've not at all shied away from the fact that where we may have delayed or where we may not have reached up to expectations of citizens, we have taken responsibility for that.
So since you are in touch with the deputy mayor of the BMC, if we receive enough complaints,
sure,
can we pass them on to the BMC?
Of course.
Will the BMC act? How long will it take before we see a reaction from the BMC?
Sure. Of course, we will be forwarding those complaints and we will be redressing them as early as possible. And in fact, we are working on a 24/7 basis. Like I said, war rooms have been set up for any kind of calamity. So the response, there is an app which has been, this time being floated. So citizens will keep getting updates. So I think this time the response time is going to be far quicker than the earlier times where we didn't have all these systems in place.
Charan Singh Sapra, one second. Krishna, one second. I just want to finish this last question. Charan Singh Sapra, I am not going to let you get away with the fact that you're in opposition. I want to understand from you if you'll be able to give us an update of what's happening in Mulund, if you'll be able to give us some accountability for your constituency at least in 15 days when it begins to rain.
Of course, the opposition parties are also accountable. They also have a responsibility. And the Congress party, not only about me, I am saying about all the councillors of Congress party, wherever there's going to be a problem, the Congress party will support the ruling party in the flood situation or in a bad situation if we have a heavy downpour. And here I would like to say the arrangements or the logistics which BMC has arranged till date are looking little insufficient and inefficient. They have to update that, and if they have not learned in 19 years, at least the 20th year they have to learn. Otherwise, people are not going to elect them and bring them into power again.
That is the key question.
I want
in
one,
19 years, have they learned anything?
Okay, I want to listen to Nikhil Desai here. I want to listen to Nikhil Desai because he's the citizen on the show. Nikhil, tell us what you want out of your government.
I am telling you, basics are not in place even. Suppose they have brought Doppler radar at a cost of 100 crore rupees. They can't predict a heavy rain is coming in 4 hours in advance. What is the use of that 100 crore Doppler radar if you can't tell people when they are going out to office that heavy rains are likely to come? First thing. Second thing, suppose my Gandhi market gets flooded. Every year it gets flooded. There is no system of SMS or any communication to tell Borivali, Andheri, Ghatkopar fellow that Gandhi market is flooded, please don't go on that road. The railways get stuck at Sai. Always the
Aarti, Sathe, we need a communication
below the
system.
water and no announcement for hours.
We need a communication system.
There is a greater Bombay. There is a.
I want to hear what Aarti has to say about the communication system.
There is a Greater Mumbai Disaster Management Authority (GMDMA) which has a website which will keep giving updates on possible calamities or any sort of information, like Mr. Desai was saying. And at the same time, BMC has also issued warnings about days that will see particularly high tides. That is a circular highlighting between June 5th and September. September.
This is a system that I will personally.
There will be a tracking system.
This happens every year. We don't know whether we should leave home today or not.
I'm going to personally test
is not
this
answered by
That is nothing
anybody.
new. That happens every year.
It happens every year. We
Krishnaraj,
don't get a solution to that simple problem that every man has.
School children are the worst affected.
Children don't know whether to go to school.
They don't know where to go.
Updated information which you are giving.
Children don't know whether to go to school or not. Parents don't know whether to send their kindergarten kids and their fourth standard kids to school or not.
We don't
know.
So let's test the app and the website this time.
We're going to have to test and see if any of this is enough.
Yes, absolutely.
Sudhir Jadhav is back with us. Sudhir Jadhav ji, क्या आप जब बारिश शुरू हो जाएगी अगले 5-10-15 दिन में क्या आप शो पे वापस आके हमें अपडेट
You have the app on the mobile, Mr. Sapra.
Are you promising it will work, Aarti?
One second. Sudhir,
I'm not a technical person.
So you're speaking on behalf of
I'm only giving you information. I'm not a technical person.
So in theory, the app will work. In theory.
I'm not a technical person. I said the app is in place. So
okay, I've run out of time.
Even BMC is giving.
I've run out of time on this show as Mumbai has run out of time when it comes to the rains.
If you have any extra information, that's
better. Charan Singh Sapra, I have the Twitter. We ran a Twitter poll today. #Mumbai Rains with 530 kilometers of roads still under repair. Do you think Mumbai is rain ready? This is what the citizens of Mumbai voted. 12% said yes, 88% said Mumbai is not rain ready. This is what the citizens of Mumbai feel and this is what they face.
Should have been over 10 days back.
A couple of things that I want to tell you. We have a Twitter handle @Magicbricks Now. We will bring you regular updates. Our reporters will be on the ground continuously during the rains. We will bring you messages from the BMC, from the state government. We'll tell you what parts of the city to avoid. But that's the best we can do. We'll also be testing out the entire process and the entire prepare and readiness systems that our governments have in place to find out whether or not we actually are ready. I just asked the panel who are with us today that in 10 days or 15 days when the rains actually begin, that you please come back and we'll do an update.
If it doesn't, if there is a
major
disaster, we'll be coming back. Let's leave that.
Or not.
But that's what the election process is for. We're going into elections. We're going into elections. What we can do is just review the systems put in place. If you have feedback and you want to get in touch with us, our contact details are on your screen. I have to end this show. Join us on our website. That's a wrap on Urban Debate. Thank you for watching.